went to UCLA. I studied design with a minor in film. And that was my quote unquote education. Right. It wasn't a film education because it wasn't very hands-on, but I was in an amazing club at UCLA called the Film and Photography Society. And that's where all of my education came from as far as on the film side. And then after graduation, I joined a filmmaking collective in Los Angeles called We Make Movies. And that was a continuing education for me. That's where I learned how to first AD. That's where I got my first feature gig as first AD. Then I started ADing features and on and so forth.
I love that. Every other week, we drop a podcast called The Morning Roast, where me and my partner Dave will like deep dive into topics. And we just talked about this not too long ago about being able to connect with people and how important groups are. So that was like a production company or a collective of like freelance creators that all just kind of brought projects together?
It's both, actually. There's a bunch of theaters in Hollywood along like Santa Monica Boulevard, a bunch of black box theaters. So they would rent one every single week, and writers would bring in up to 15 pages of a script. It could be a full short film that they bring in, or it could be a feature that they've split up into sections or whatever, anything that they want feedback on. And then We Make Movies would cast it with actors from the We Make Movies, collective. And then those actors would do a reading in front of an audience. I was always in the audience and I was always giving feedback and, like really pushing myself as, hey, I'll direct this or I'll shoot it if I saw or heard of any good scripts like come through. And then We Make Movies got actually a partnership with both YouTube and Red to use the YouTube space and use Red cameras to create short films inside YouTube space for YouTube. So
that's awesome.
It was awesome. Yeah. So, but the problem was that it was like we were really, really trying to like make 4 short films in one day, 5 pages each. So we had to have 2 crews and like be on 2 different sound stages. So at some point it was like the first AD couldn't really control 2 crews shooting at once. So the first AD needed help. So recruited me, taught me everything about first ADing. So I started taking over, crew B and doing half the work. And then eventually I took over all the work. And then eventually I trained the next trainee. So that was really good. That was like a really good place to, learn film etiquette, learn film terms, be on set, talk to DPs, learn more about cameras, learn more about lighting by literally doing it and having this creative outlet that wasn't like there was no stakes in it. If we made a bad short film, it didn't matter. If we made a good short film, it didn't matter.
Right. Which is funny because it's like that's part of what college is, like you
right.
bank on being able to do that in college, and it was an extension of that, which is so cool.
A lot of colleges are theoretical only. When you go to film school, you have to really check it because they'll teach you like what mise en scène is, but they won't teach you where to get props if you want to be a production designer or how to do contracts or anything like that.
No, that's very true. That's really cool. Is that collective still around?
Totally still around. They've gone digital right now. So they're doing a digital film festival right now. But yeah, they're totally still around. And I do believe that once, this is all over, they'll resume their regular Wednesday activities. It's not just writers' nights. Like sometimes they have improv nights. Sometimes they have workshops on like maybe you have an edit that's like halfway done or you have an edit that's almost done. And so they have screenings where people show unfinished work and you can give the filmmakers feedback on like, hey, I think, if you throw this audio plugin on your audio, it'll be less echoey, or like, hey, I think that this beat doesn't work here or whatever. So it's a really, really great group in LA that anyone can join.
Thanks for listening to this clip. Make sure to listen to the full interview, which is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Hit the subscribe button for more highlights and join our Black with No Cream private community for creators. Links in the description.